In this video, I'm going to show you how to print or export any things you've created in NoodleTools, including your bibliography, your note cards, and your outline. And we're going to start with the bibliography. So once you've logged into NoodleTools through your Google Drive account, you'll find yourself in the Projects tab, and you want to find the project that you're ready to print from and select it. And you'll be taken to the Dashboard tab where there's information about your project. But if you want to print out your bibliography, then you need to go to the Sources tab where all of your sources are kept. Now I can see my work cited on this page, and I want to select Print or Export. And then you have some choices. If you choose to print or export to Word, then a Word document will automatically be downloaded onto your computer, which you can then open from your Downloads folder. Similar situation with RTF. But what I would recommend is that you go ahead and print or export to Google Docs. Now, when I select that option, I note I'm in a Chrome browser right now, and an indicator in my URL line came up saying that the pop-up blocker had blocked that page. The following pop-ups were blocked on this page. So depending on what URL you are using and how the pop-up blockers are established, you may get a similar message from your browser, and you're going to need to change the default to always allow pop-ups from NoodleTools. So if you have your own computer, you'll only need to do this once. If you're working at a school computer, you may need to do this every time that you try to export or print something from NoodleTools. So just always remember, if things don't seem to be working when you're printing or exporting, look up in your browser URL for some kind of little X, red X like this, indicating that pop-ups have been blocked. So now that I've selected Always Allow Pop-ups, I can click Done. And once you've allowed pop-ups to work for NoodleTools, I would strongly recommend you click the refresh button in your browser so that the page refreshes and that information is properly saved. And then go back and try to print or export again, and we want to do that to Google Docs. And a new tab will open up in your browser in Google Docs. And remember, you have logged into NoodleTools via your Google Drive account, so it will automatically be able to open a new Google Doc in your Google Drive account. So it is named automatically for you as sources for, and then whatever you have called your particular project. So you can feel free to rename that if you want. And then from within Google Drive or Google Docs, you can go ahead and select the print option or go to File and Print. So that's what I would recommend doing for printing your bibliography. Now we can move on to note cards. So I will go ahead and click on the note cards tab to be taken to my note cards. And you can see that I've got a few note cards created already, one blue, and then two that I've put in a pile and called the pile security. And I have the option up here to print. And if I click on that, I'll get a drop-down box with the options to export as a web page or HTML file, export to Google Docs, export to Word, or RTF. And so I would recommend using Google Docs, and I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So I select Export to Google Docs. Then I have some options. I can export all the note cards or selected note cards only, or export note cards from a pile. So I'll just show you what happens if I click on Export note cards from a pile. Then I can select from a drop-down list of piles that I have created. So I could just export the security note cards. I think I want to export all my note cards, so I'll select that option, and you might as well just print everything, or you can select certain things on the note cards that you want to print. So I go ahead and click Submit, and what happens is a new tab will open up for Google Docs, and a new Google Doc is created. And you can see at the top it is automatically named Note Cards for, and then it gives you the project name, which is Reading, and it actually gives you a handy date and time stamp as well. But you can certainly edit that name to be anything you want it to be. And you can see my note cards print out like this. It says note cards at the top. It starts with any unpiled note cards. It gives all of the information on the note card. And then there's a line, which is actually handy if you want to use that to insert a page break and print them each on separate pages, or you can just print them like this and use scissors to physically cut the note cards in half at the lines, although they do carry on from page to page. So you might consider going ahead and putting your cursor in, clicking on insert, and then insert page break to create a different page for each note card, if that is handy for you. And once you've got them set up the way you want in terms of formatting, oh, and you can also see that the security pile that I created comes next after my unpiled note cards. Then I can go to print here using the icon, or again, I can click on file and print at the bottom to go ahead and print out my note cards. So that's how to print out the note cards, and next we will do printing of an outline. So from here I'll move back into the NoodleTools tab, and I'm in the Note Cards tab of NoodleTools, and you will see that I have an outline over here on the right. I've created a small outline. If I want to print it, I simply click on the Print tab, and I can print either the outline only or the outline with note cards, since I have dragged note cards into my outline, as you can see here. So I'll select outline only first, just to show you what that looks like. And I'm going to select export as Google Doc, but I could also export to Word, RTF, or a web page. So I'll click submit since I've selected Google Doc, and a new tab will open with a new Google Doc. And you can see my short outline here. At the top, it's been titled automatically Outline 4, and then it inserts the name of my project, which is reading, and handily enough, it also gives me a date and time stamp so I can keep my versions straight. Now let me go back to NoodleTools, and let's say I'd rather print with the full note card information. I can select outline with note cards, export to Google Docs, and then I can indicate which things I want to include in my outline from my note cards. So perhaps I really just want to get rid of the tags. I definitely don't want those messy URLs. I am going to go ahead and keep the source so I can remember where they came from. Cues would be handy. You can learn about those by exploring on your own, and I'll keep the rest of the information, so I'll click submit. And again, a new tab will open up in Google Docs with the outline, including the information I selected from my note card. So you can see again, it's called Outline 4 Reading, but a different time and date stamp. And the outline now has more complete information because the information from my note cards has been included. So to print from there, I can just go to File, Print, or I can click on the print icon. So that's how to print the different elements of your project in NoodleTools. If you have any questions, please feel free to come by and ask a librarian, or email or text us.